Great morning, great morning. You guys come on in, come on in. Come on in. When you guys come in, let me know who's here and where you are tuning in from. Y'all gonna have to bear with my direction. I'm driving on a mission this morning, bright and early here anyway. Here it's almost 7. I know that Eastern time it's almost 8, but here it's almost 7, and I'm going to eat breakfast with my sister. So you guys come on in. Let me know who's here and where you're tuning in from. Let me know who's here and where you are tuning in from. Hey, April. Hey, Sissy. Hey, you guys. So, y'all, so so much has happened on this trip. So much has happened that has just done my heart so good. Like my heart is so full. But I needed you to understand that everything that's going on in your life is God processing you for your next. Your next is literally right around the corner. But you can't get there without going through the processing. God is processing you for your next. Well, what does that mean, Dr. V, that He's processing us? It means that everything in you that does not look like Him, does not behave like Him, He is working that stuff out of you. And He does that through situations and circumstances. He does that through the things that you encounter. He does that through people and experiences with people. God is processing you for your next, that next place that He's taking you, that next thing that He's doing, that next job that He's giving you, that next opportunity that He has. As I have walked Tennessee State University and I've traveled the streets of Nashville, I was reminded of all of the time that I spent here, reminded of all of the relationships I developed here, reminded of all the students that I helped here, reminded of all the ministries that I had the opportunity to attend and or be a part of, reminded me of the friends that I developed here, reminded me of the family that I had here. Now, the thing about memories is this: in your memories, there's going to be good things and there's going to be things that were not so good. The not so good things are not enough for you to deny the value of your experiences wherever you found yourself. Good morning, Daddy. Hey, Mike. So, given that, given that, I've chosen to go through my processing and feel what I feel, acknowledge what I feel, try to understand why I feel it, and then work my way through it. It's not always easy, but it's definitely necessary. We want the next. We want what God has next for us. The next move, the next relationship, the next job, the next opportunity, the next whatever. But we don't want to go through the processing. Processing is a part of it. It's a part of it, and not only is it a part of it, it's an important part of it. It's the part of it that people often don't talk about. Like you see people when they get to their next, and you're like, oh my God, look at them. I'm so happy for them. Look, I can't believe they made it there. There was stuff that they had to go through to get there. There was stuff that they had to experience to get there. So, why am I telling you all this? Because your next is going to require you being processed. Your next is going to require you facing things that you didn't want to face, dealing with things that you didn't want to deal with, addressing things that you didn't want to address, handling the stuff that you avoided, even the feelings that you avoided. Yesterday, when I was speaking to the First Ladies Club, like I was reminded of just how powerful it is to have been given a God idea because the First Ladies Club was a God idea. I wasn't asking for it. I don't even like dealing with women like that, right? Now this is doing too much. Okay. But God in his infinite wisdom, I turned too early, y'all. God in his infinite wisdom knew exactly not only what I needed, but what they needed. When you understand that what your assignment is, that your assignment is connected to people. Your assignment is connected to purpose. Your assignment is connected. So if you understand that, then you will do what you need to do in order to be in position for God to do what he needs to do. All I'm telling you is this: you avoiding the things of your past, you avoiding your feelings and emotions about things, you avoiding facing and confronting people, situations, and it's not going to get it. Not this time. This time, you're going to have to really face it. This time, you're really going to have to deal with it this time. This time is different from every time. What makes it different? What makes it different? What makes this time different is that you don't know when this time is going to come back. A time where you really have the opportunity to move in an accelerated way to get to your destiny. You don't know when it's coming back. You don't know if it's coming back. But what I can tell you is this: God is not that he should lie, nor the Son of Man that he should miss it. I don't remember all how that scripture go, but y'all know what I'm saying. God don't lie. God does not lie. And because God doesn't lie, we can trust his word and that his word is designed to get us to our destiny, even if it means you get rerouted, even if it means when you make a wrong turn. So check this out. So I love how God produces analogies in my life. So I made a wrong turn. I turned too soon, you know. But the beauty of a GPS system is that it will keep rerouting you until you get back on track. It'll keep rerouting you until you get back to the place where you're supposed to be. It keeps rerouting you. So even though I went through some extra turns, I had to go a little further. It's going to take me a little longer. I still get to get to my destiny. So though you've been rerouted and though you've made some wrong turns and though some things hadn't gone the way that you wanted them to, and though all of that may very well be true, God has been rerouting you to get you back to the place where you need to be so that you can get to your destiny. Now, will you just continue the journey? Will you face it? Will you keep going? See, the enemy sends things to be a distraction to you, but God sends things to be a blessing to you. The enemy sends things to be a distraction to you, but God sends things to be a blessing to you. So, will you take the blessing? Will you take the journey? Now, this is not the first time that I've been rerouted since I've been here because I really, honestly, have forgotten my way around. Like, for a big part, like, I don't remember exactly how to get here. Let me use my GPS. Plus, I like my GPS because I like to know where I'm going for sure and for certain. And I like to have that little extra, right? So, when we understand that and we understand that God doesn't make mistakes and God doesn't allow just accidents, like it seems like an accident to us, but God knew that it was going to happen. God knew I was going to get turned around. He knew I was going to get rerouted. He knew all of that. He knew that I would do it while I was on my line. And he knew that I was going to have to make a decision as to whether I would continue the live or I would say, well, y'all, listen, I got to get out here because I'm lost. See, listen, if you understand the voice of God is very much like that GPS system. I don't care what I'm doing. I'm talking, I'm doing the live Meanwhile, in the background, the voice of the GPS system is still going. See, in the background, God's voice is still going. God is still talking to you. God is still telling you what to do. God is still trying to guide you and direct you, all in the background of your life, while you doing what you do on a daily basis, while you trying not to listen to him. God is still talking. He is still yet talking, trying to get you to a place called destiny, a place with your name on it, a place designed specifically for you, a place that God ordained for you to be before you were conceived in your mother's womb, before your mama met your daddy, before they had any kind of sexual interaction. God already knew what he was doing in that situation. This is why, listen to me, this is why I process life the way I process it. This is why. This is why I process life the way I process it. See, I don't have time to be stuck in what I want to change. I don't have time to be stuck in what I wish was different. I don't have time to be stuck in what I think it should ought to be. No, I have to live this life that I've been given the way God has given it to me, with the authority that he's given me. Oh, you can't rush me. You can't make me get there no faster. I still am in process. I'm still being processed. This morning, I'm going to eat breakfast with my sisters. My sisters not by blood, but my sisters by my other daddy. The reality is, discovering that daddy was not my daddy didn't just affect me, it affected them. You see, all their life, they thought that daddy was my daddy. This is why I'm grateful that I understand that family isn't about blood. They were always my sisters. I always treated them like my sisters. I didn't act like I was somehow better than them because I was quote unquote daddy's seed. I didn't love them any less because we didn't share DNA. I loved them as my sisters. And maybe that was why it was so easy for me to accept my siblings on my biological daddy's side. Because family for me has never just been about DNA. It's never just been about blood. And I've always been open to family. I value family. Family is important to me. Y'all, life is just full of twists and turns. And in the twists and turns, the difference between those who are successful, those who are not, is those who are successful learn to find the blessing, the gift, the opportunity in every situation in their life, every single one of them. In every situation. It doesn't matter what it is, it doesn't matter what it looks like, they find the blessing in it. They find a way to find value in what happened in their life. My time at Tennessee State University wasn't in vain. My time at every other institution that I attended or taught at was not in vain. Everything that I went through prepared me to be at the place in my life where I was when I was at TSU, so that I could give those young people what I had gained and gleaned, so I could share from my heart. I was talking to one of my former students, and she talked about that, like the last day of class, all my classes, I would go around the room and I would prophesy to every student in the class. I would tell them what God was saying concerning them and their life. The students who'd had me for more than one class got to the point where they would bring their friends to class so that they could get a word. I remember one time think I was teaching an honors class. I think it was an honors public speaking class. It was the first day of class. And on the first day of class, before I knew the students' names, I went around the room and I prophesied to every student in that class. I've never done that before, and I didn't understand why God had me do it. But I prophesied to every student in that class, told them what God was saying concerning them. And my students to this day still remember the prophetic words that I gave them. They still remember how I treated them and how I made them feel. I loved all of my students, even the ones I didn't like. And I had some I didn't like. Let me just be clear, okay? But I loved all of my students. And I always poured into them. And I poured into them the way I would want someone to pour into my children. And literally, because of the seeds that I've sown, my children have reaped harvest. Everywhere my children go, people love on them. The favor of God is with them everywhere they go. Because I made sure that I took care of other people's kids, that I was a listening ear for them, that I was there to support them. One of my students, he reminds me of the story, and I hope I see him while I'm here. I'm trying to. When he came to my office, and he needed a haircut. And I looked at him and I looked at his head and I said, baby, why is your head looking like that? Now that seems like a mean thing to say, but no, I was serious. And he was like, oh, and I can't remember who I was then. Dr. Walters, Dr. Glass, I don't know. I think I was Dr. Walters then. Or Dr. Duncan Walters. Something, one of those names, right? He said, I don't have any money for a haircut. I said, well, baby, listen, how much is your haircut? And he told me. I took some money out of my purse and I said, listen, you go get you a haircut. Because you can't be walking around here like this, okay? You got to handle that. He was like, yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. He went and got his haircut. I don't just talk about it, y'all. Like, who I am is who I am from my heart, from my core. And I've always been a giver, and I give so freely because God gives to me so freely. And in my process and my processing, even in that, I know that God is doing something. God is up to something. There's something going on behind the scenes. And I know when I see my sisters, there's something that's happening. See, my sisters last year didn't just lose daddy. They lost their mama. They had two major losses, months apart, literally. I think their mom died in December. And when she transitioned, they made sure they let me know. And I made sure that they knew that I was here for them. And I guess that's why I am the way I am. I've had to get to the point where I'm at peace with people who want relationship with me and people who don't. People who value me and people who don't. People who celebrate me and people who don't. Last night when I was getting ready for the event, my cousin texted me and asked me what was going on, and I told her, and she said, we're thinking about coming. I said, y'all should come. And they did. Two of my cousins and my sister, they came. And the truth of the matter is there aren't words to describe what it felt like for me, for them to drive an hour to come support me. Now, some of you may say an hour, that's not much, but when you understand that I come from a small town where people don't drive nowhere, they usually don't go nowhere. And it's not often that my family has been able to support me in what I do. But to see them come through the door meant so much to me. To be able to introduce them to the people meant so much to me. To have my sister, to have my cousin take my class and pay for it meant so much to me. Do you understand what I'm telling you? Not because I want their money, but because they see the value in me enough to put their money where their mouth is. I want everybody to be healed. I want everybody to be whole. I want everybody to experience the best life they can. I want that. everybody. Unfortunately, everybody won't get it. Everybody won't experience it. Everybody won't invest in it. Everybody won't know it. But those who do, I need you to understand it's worth investing in yourself and in people that you believe in. It's worth it. They see me already. I love my family. Y'all, listen. Love the people that you have in your life while you have them in your life. Appreciate the people that you have in your life while you have them in your life. Don't wait until people die to celebrate them and their life. Don't wait and miss out on the absolute value that comes when people know that people that you love not just love you, but they believe in you and they support you. My prayer is this, that today you would allow God to continue your processing so that you can get everything that God has for you and you can become who He originally designed you to be. It's time. It's time for you to get processed so you can level up for your next. It's waiting on you. I love you guys to life and life more abundant. Be absolutely, unequivocally, and without the, oh Lord, let me put this up here. Listen, if this word blesses you and you are led to sow a seed, sow a seed. Cash App $DRV Walters or PayPal.me/DRV Walters. God is absolutely in the blessing business. Mm. And He blesses those who bless His. And the thing about blessing a prophet and sowing into a prophet is this. When you bless a prophet, you get a prophet's reward. You can't beat him with this giving. Listen, I love you guys. Have an amazing day. Be blessed.